Good evening. It is 7 o'clock here at Tooele City Hall. We'll call to order the Planning Commission meeting for Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. We'll begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. If you all please rise and repeat the pledge with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is our roll call. Commissioner Hammer.
Here.
Commissioner Proctor.
Here.
Commissioner Sloan.
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Here.
Commissioner Jensen.
Here.
Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
I'm Commissioner Robinson. I am also here. Thank you to alternate Commissioner Dunn for being here as well. We excuse Councilmember Hanson, but recognize Councilmember Manzione, as well as Ms. Fairborn, Mr. Agard, and Mr. Page from the city staff. Next on the agenda, we've got two public hearings on the agenda tonight for similar functions, both conditional use permits for drive-throughs facilities. We'll start with Pad B for a drive-through facility located northwest corner of 2400 North and Main Street in the general commercial zoning. Mr. Page.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. LH Perry Investments has proposed two accessory drive-through facilities which require a conditional use permit in this zone. And it'd be, first one would be for Pad B, and the second was for Pad F, but these are two separate applications, so we should consider them separately. The location is approximately the northwest corner of 2400 North and Main Street, or SR 36. And Pad B, Andrew, if you can move to the next slide. Well, this is the overall site plan. And Pad B is the one farthest to the west. And then Pad F is closer to SR 36. Then the next slide will have a more detailed site plan for Pad B. And this is for the drive-through facility. A site plan will be approved separately. So one of the questions is, well, how does this drive-through affect the site plan, or how does the site plan affect the drive-through? So those are good questions we can consider today. That's all my presentation at this time.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Page or staff by members of the commission on this item?
Yeah, we've already done a CUP for Smith's. How is this going to affect the stacking for that, or is it even going to have any involvement?
This will be separate from the stacking for Smith's. This is one of the, I guess, auxiliary pads for that area.
Well, I see that, but is there going to be any commingling of the stacking of those two?
I don't
or those three pads?
No.
I have a question, Mr. Page, on that, and I don't know whether this is site plan related or not, but what is that big box with the lines on it that kind of looks like it blocks entrance to the drive-through?
I believe that is the dumpster.
Looks like a dumpster. Yeah.
Okay, that's just my architectural ignorance to not know what that means.
That's a fancy dumpster.
It looks nice now. Any other questions for staff? If not, this item requires a public hearing. We'll go ahead and open that hearing. If any members of the public that are here that wish to come and address this item, now is the chance.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Rick Magnus with AWA Engineering. Our address is 2010 Redwood Road, Northwood Redwood Road in Salt Lake City, Utah. We are the consulting engineers, and I'm here representing the applicant this evening. Just to answer a couple of concerns you may have, there is no conflict with the drive-throughs or queuing in the Smith's drive-through, which of course that was for the pharmacy, and I actually was able to come here and represent that item a little bit ago. This particular use, Pad B, there will actually be three end users in this site. We're pretty confident. I'm confident tonight to tell you that in Pad B, let me just take a look at this real quick. I mean, we've got tropical smoothie and beans and brews that's going in there. On the inside drive-through, we have measured that out. There's a 9-car queuing or stacking it has the distance to be able to handle 9 cars in that queue. And then there'll be the ability on the outside to have 15 cars queued in there, which are also well beyond what code would require. Yes, that is a trash enclosure right there at the end, and it will reflect code as well for regards to a trash enclosure, screening, that sort of thing. Something else that's in your code that we made sure of is you cannot have a drive-through that's elevated above the road, the adjacent roadway. In this case, the site is actually below grade of the adjacent street, so you will not have that headlight concern that I'm sure is what that code tries to protect. Anyway, in this case, these out parcels, or the ones out in front, they are to accommodate. I think we've seen through the years that drive-throughs are kind of the thing for restaurants these days. We don't want to get out of our cars for various reasons, but this will serve these two end users. And tonight, I'm just here before you I concur with staff recommendations, and if I can, I usually mention this at the first, that we appreciate your staff. You have a really good staff, and they are really helpful in getting this ready, and we concur with staff recommendations, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Okay, thank you. If you'll just stand by for a second, I want to make sure that there's nobody else in the
sounds
public
fine.
that
You
wants to
bet.
come forward. Seeing no one run up, we'll close the public hearing. Do members of the commission have any questions for the applicant?
I just have a real goofy one. Can I assume that the bottom end of the photo here, where it looks like the lanes cross over, is that simply because of the radius of the turn around the building?
It
Or is there
is.
some funky, cool thing you're doing?
It's like
So-
2 different drive-throughs.
So there's 2 different drive-throughs. One is for the end user to the south.
All right.
One is for the middle leased area. And so what you have is when they come together, there's a large enough, though that striping pattern is, paint, so that you have the turning radius, and there is the ability to have that function. So it can function properly, so there's enough
More zipper merging.
radii when they're merging, yes, of course.
Something.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are no other questions or comments, I will entertain a motion on this CUP.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Jensen.
I move we approve the CUP request by LH Perry Investments LLC to authorize the use of accessory drive-through facility at Pad B of the Peak at Compass Point Commercial Development, application number 2025004, based on the findings.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Jensen, seconded by Commissioner Hamilton. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll take it to a vote. Commissioner Hammer.
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor.
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan.
Aye.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
The chair also votes aye. That CUP is approved 7-0. Next on the agenda is the same parcel of land, drive-through facility F, Pad F. Do you want to talk again, Mr. Page, or should we just move to the public hearing?
Probably just ditto. So, yeah, just the same information as that I presented before for Pad B applies to Pad F. Staff doesn't anticipate any problems with this application.
Any questions from the commission specific to Pad F? Hearing none, thank you, Mr. Page. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing for this conditional use permit. If anyone from the public wants to come to discuss it, they may do so. Don't feel like you have to. But
That's fine. Since we're representing each item separately, we'll do this. My name is Rick Magnus with AWA Engineering, the consulting engineer, and representing the applicant. And you have my address in the minutes back there. I'll let that go. So yes, this is another end users that are coming in here. If I can let you know also that this will be below grade of the adjacent street, so it meets that portion or that criteria of the code. Also, this one will have enough queuing or stacking for 15 cars, and as you can kind of see, they come in over there on the side, and then they go all the way around the building, and then they end up over at the service window on the other side of the building. And so that's sort of the queuing. That's the site plan itself. I know that the site plan will be reviewed later, but as far as the drive-through is concerned, this will also not cause any conflict with the other parcels that it's adjacent to. So anyway, once again, I concur with staff recommendations. Yes, I want to let you know that they are good. Again, they're awesome staff, so we appreciate working with them, and we concur with those recommendations, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have on this one.
thank you, Mr. Magnus. If you'll stand by for just a second, we'll see if there's any questions. Any members of the public that want to come forward and address the conditional use permit on pad F? Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Any questions for the applicant by the commission? You want to give us any spoilers on what's going in these for?
Which is really the only reason we serve on this committee.
I will. To my knowledge this is pad F, correct? How does like Einstein Bagels and a Jersey Mike's sound? I think they're really close to those two. I cannot tell you though which lease space they're in on this pad F. So maybe drive by when it's built. I don't know.
We'll be down there for sure.
Sounds like we got breakfast and lunch over there.
Yeah, we'll cover you on
And a
that.
Smith's Marketplace for dinner, so we're good.
And I have a sneaking suspicion I'll probably be back on some other out parcels, and we'll just keep you apprised of what's going on in your community, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
Excellent.
thank
Thank
you.
you very much. If there are no further questions or comments from the commission, I'll entertain a motion on this conditional use permit.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Proctor.
I move we approve CPU request by LH Perry Investments LLC to authorize the use of accessory drive-through facility at pad F at the Peak Compass Point Commercial Development Application 2025-003 based on the findings in the staff report.
I'll second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Proctor, seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll take it to a vote. Commissioner Hammer.
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor.
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan.
Aye.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Chair also votes aye. That conditional use permit is approved 7-0. Next on the agenda, the
Could I
city.
say just thank you
Oh.
for thank you very much for your decisions tonight. Okay?
You're welcome.
Thanks
All
for
right.
coming.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, Councilmember Manzione with her report.
Hello, everyone. We did have our meeting last week, and we did our assignments for the year, and so you were stuck with Councilman Hanson and myself for another year. So for better or worse, we're back for more fun. And the council chair will remain Councilman Brady, and the vice chair will be Councilwoman Goches. And then if you're interested in any of the other assignments, I'd be happy to share those with you. We had a great presentation in our work meeting about the Harris Community Development from both Switch Point and the Tooele County Housing Authority. I bring that up because I think you guys are part of that plan, you know, in what comes before the Planning Commission. So it was a really good presentation, a lot of good information. If you have time to go back and watch it, I certainly can't convey everything they talked about, but it's maybe worth a watch just to get some updates on that. And that is all I really have to report on, unless you have questions for me.
Council, the only comment I've got is I've heard from some members of the public that were, I'm going to call it peeved, that that presentation took place in the work meeting and not the business meeting. A vast majority of our citizens don't even know there is a difference
Yeah.
between the two.
Yeah.
And they found out after the fact, that presentation, that, yeah, they obviously can go back and see it.
Yeah.
But they wondered if that's the sort of, because there was some public comment right afterwards.
Yes, there was.
From one lady that had some issues with the facility and what goes on around it. And maybe that's a better way to put it, what goes around the facility, not necessarily with the facility itself. But I can't help but wonder, because it was suggested to me that you'd get more public input on something like that at the 7 o'clock meeting than you do at the 5:30 meeting, for what that's worth.
Possibly, and I will pass that on to the chair.
Thank you.
Yes, be happy to pass that on.
Any other questions?
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry you're stuck for another year.
Next on the agenda, the review and decision of the minutes for the meeting held on 8th of January, 2025. Any discussion, corrections, additions, fixes to the minutes?
If not, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 8th, 2025.
Motion to approve the minutes from Commissioner Hammer. The chair will second that motion. Any discussion? If not, we'll take that to a vote. Commissioner Hammer.
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor.
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan.
I wasn't here, but I'm going to vote aye because I listened to it all the way into my meeting, so you guys did a fantastic job. So
Good.
aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Hamilton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Chair also votes aye. Those minutes are approved. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.